Start now. I record.
So this is what I want you to do, everyone. I give you something like a starter. I give you 2 minutes to work on it. Okay, let's make it 5 minutes. Please just focus on what I ask you to do. Your textbook, check page 354 to 355. It's exercise 21A. Attempt questions 5H, 5A, 5C, and 5D. Then attempt question 6. Then attempt question 9. So I don't need to waste time on function notation if you're able to quickly do all these questions. Let's spend the next 5 to 10 minutes to do it. And please be as fast as possible. Then we can go to the inverse. This is something you have done in previous grade, so which is why I don't want us to waste time on it. Let's just review that area, that aspect with these questions. Five to 10 minutes max, please. Because of our time. If there are questions, please let me know. Of course, attempt it first. Yeah. I'm particularly interested in how you solve these two questions. So if you have done it, please let me know. Have you done 5A?
Yeah.
I see. Not 5A, 6A. Okay. Then B. Kelly, I would like to see the substitution first. You only went straight to the equation, but it's correct. And yeah, that's correct. Who else has done these two in particular? These are the two that I really want to see how you solve them. It will save you a lot of stress if you put this before this one. I don't know why. It's written in such a way that f of a is equal to 20. F of a is on the left. A is on the other one is on the right. I don't know. What is x doing here? Next. What does f of a mean? That's the question you ask yourself. What does f of a mean? The function is not a, the function is f.
因为你这边是 a 嘛，你如果把 a 带到 x 这边，那等于20，就是解方程，就2x 加5a。
Okay, I need everyone's attention now. I need everyone's attention now. So, I'll start with 5a for example. Question 5, the function is defined as h of x equals x minus 1, x plus 1 or plus at the top and minus at the bottom. Alright, so this is h of x. I need everyone's attention. Like I said, I ask you to do 5, okay, let's say 5a, the easiest one. 5a is asking for h of 2. Last warning, please. 5a is asking for h. 5a is asking for h of 2. This is h of x. This is how I pronounce it. H of x, like that. That's like f of x. That is a function acting on x. H is a function. The point is x. Why is the point x? Because the point could be any point. It's sitting at a point. She is at a point. She is at the point. Alright? So let's just represent the point with x, because x can assume any number. That's what it means. A function acting at a point will be defined as that point plus 1 divided by that point minus 1. Simple. So h of 2 will be defined as 2 plus 1, 2 minus 1, because 2 is the point this time. And that's how you got your 3 divided by 1, which is 3. I believe everybody got this one. Great. The same thing you have to do here. So please listen. If this is this, what is A? This is not, unlike this one, the question will be like find h of 2, something like that. This is an expression. Is it either giving you a function or a value? It's not an equation, but this is an equation. There's something on the left. Another way of writing h of x is to write h dot x arrow, then this one. So this is the same as f bracket x equals 2x plus 5. That's what it means. It means we have two sets. It means we have two sets. Whenever x is taken from the inputs, is mapped into 2x plus 5. Through this let's say, rule called F. That's the path. That's what it means. So if I map 1, 1 will be mapped to what, everybody? Just give me a number, please. No story. 1 will be mapped to
7.
That's all I want to hear. Minus 2 will be mapped to 1. That's what it means. So F is a function sending point, mapping point to twice the point plus 5. So it's another way of writing this. I don't know, maybe the confusion is a symbol, but these are some of the things we mentioned in Form 1. With all due respect, I have to keep saying that. These are the things we mentioned in Form 1. Unfortunately, we are still repeating in Form 3. Alright. So, f of a means the point is A. From f of x, how do you write f of a? Just talk to me, please. Yes, you were saying?
2x plus 5 equals
Nope. I'm asking you just one thing. How do you write f of a? That's my question.
2a plus 5.
2a plus 5. That's all I ask. You have been given f of x. A is now the point. So A is mapped to where? A is mapped to which point?
20.
That's what I'm asking you. What is your problem, young lady? A is mapped to where? I'm asking you under this rule. Just pay attention. Does this make sense, everyone? If I give you M, M is mapped to where?
2m plus 5.
That's what I'm asking you. And this is the problem with most of you. You can't even interpret this. Come on. So this is how you try to figure out your left-hand side first. So f of a now, using this rule, means a is going to be sent to somewhere on the other side. And that somewhere will be 2a plus 5. The other side is saying this will definitely be equal to 20. Some of you are still working with 2x plus 5 is equal to 20. I don't know how you got that. If that was an examination, I don't think I would give you any point because I'm not asking you to solve for x. Does it make sense now? I'm telling you m is mapped to somewhere. Then I later discovered that somewhere 2m plus 5, I got it to be 17. Then I'm asking you, what is this m in the first instance? Does it make sense now? So this is what you solve. This is similar to this one. So now can somebody tell me the right equation to deal with here? On the left, what do you have? On the left, what do you have?
2 to the power of x minus 1
Thank you, Justin. 2 to the power of x minus 1. Yes? Equals 12 over negative 12. What is difficult here? Guys, you need to be more focused in class. We play too much. This is something I expect you to have gotten over with Form 1 or Form 2. And that I'm still repeating what a point is, how to evaluate something. It shows where we're not paying attention. This is not a standard class. I will understand if this was Form 3 standard. This is Form 3 advanced. Come on. And if we do not think you are fit for this class, we wouldn't put you in this group. So please, you need to show us exactly what we think you are. Is that understood? Alright, so this is 2 to the power x minus 1 is equal to negative 1 plus 1. 0. And where you started is here. So to me, it's not complete. How did you get it? So just balance it. Left, right. Connect it as you go on, like that. I'm not asking you to write f of a, 2a plus 5, then from somewhere you write 20, and the next thing 2 plus 5 is equal to 20. Don't write like from 3. Don't write like say this is candy. Like in some rough paper. You put 2 times 2, 4 on this side. You do 4 plus 2 is on this side, and you write the answer in between. Write like from 3 students. You are preparing for IGCSE, please. Okay? So just look at it. On the left, f of a, this is it. Equality sign, repeated. 20, repeated. Balance it. And now you have a meaningful equation to solve. Okay, so the next question will be 2x is equal to 1. How do I proceed from here? What? Speak louder, please. 1 to the power of 2 to the power x is 1 to the power of what? 1. So, how does that help me? How does that help me? How? Not the answer. I'm asking you, what do I do? I know x is equal to 0. How do I get it? That's what you do. I need the base to be equal. Then I can assume the powers are equal. Do you agree? Listen, everyone. If 4 to power 3 is 4 to power a certain number, is it possible to have 2 different powers on 4 that gives you the same value? No. So when you have a problem like this, your goal is to make sure the powers are equal. We will still discuss more in indices. I'll give you questions like 27 to power x equals maybe 81. The goal is to have equal power. Do you agree this is 3 to power 3x? And this is 3 to power 4? So the equation becomes 3x is equal to 4. Then you solve for x. The goal is to make sure they have the same base, then you can equate the power. Does that make sense? Do you have a question?
I don't really understand how you got from 27 to 3 to power 3.
What is 27 to the power of 3? In terms of power 3. As a power of 3, yes.
27.
How do you write 27 as a power of 3? 3 raised to power what is 27? That's my question. Does it make sense now? And of course this is 3 to power 4. We'll look at this when I review indices with you, but that is the approach, and that's the approach I used here. Some of you wrote from here. I've seen 1 or 2 people that did this question. From here they jumped to that. And the question I will ask is, how did you get x is equal to 0? Okay? So please justify your result by showing me this line. Any questions, please? So this can help you solve other problems that you have. Because of time, I have about 4 to 5 minutes. I don't know if you have done inverse last year. Did you do inverse function last year? Okay, so let's review it. So with this observation now, I'm going to be giving you some questions on function notation to try. Because apparently we need a lot of practice on this. Okay? So please, inverse function. Let's look at inverse function. Or inverse of a function. Now, for a function f, okay, the function could be g, it could be h, it could be anything. If the function is f, we write its inverse as this, f inverse. That's how we write it. Okay? Now, what does this mean? This is what I want you to listen to this. This is what it means. If my function is mapping from this set of input to set of outputs, when you start learning function in IB, you'll be introduced to domain, codomain, and range. But we're not using those terms yet. So let's just call them input and output. if the function is 2x plus 1, if I input 1, what do I get? 3. If I input minus 7, what do I get? Negative 13. So the rule that maps from left to right is my function. The rule that reverses it is my function inverse. It's as it sounds, F inverse, the reverse of the process. Does it make sense now? So which means F inverse, I'm asking the class now, F inverse of negative 13 should give me what?
-7.
Negative 7. F inverse of negative of 3 should give me what?
1.
Exactly. But F of negative 7 is what? Negative 13. And F of 1 is what?
3.
So, let me ask a question now. If F of A is equal to B, start with B this time around to be equal to A. What of B gives me A?
-1.
F inverse, not F negative 1, please. F inverse. Does that make sense to everyone? Now, there's a reason I said that, because of how we find our inverse function. Now, look at this question, probably the last question I will do because of time. Find the inverse. Let's just pick a random function. Find the inverse of maybe that. Find the inverse of f of x equals 2x plus 1. So this is how we begin. If I assume my f inverse of x is y. Are you with me, everyone? I don't know what f inverse is, so let's assume it is y. Okay? If it is y, do you agree that it means x will be f of y? Do we all agree?
Yeah.
From this one.
Yeah.
So if f inverse of something is this, then f of this is that one, right? So if f inverse of x is y, then x itself, or maybe I write y is equal to f of x. Would you prefer that?
Yeah.
Or I just say x is equal to f of y. So basically, if you remove this, to isolate x, you have to do the reverse of this one on the other one. Just like the way we do if x squared is equal to a, then x will be the square root of a. That is the reverse of this one. Do you understand that? Does everybody get what I'm saying? There's a reason for this. Now, using what you have done in function notation, what is f of y? X is equal to, what is f of y?
2 plus 1.
What? Where does 2x come in again? F of y is what?
2y.
Thank you. 2y plus 1. Does it make sense? Now, the f inverse we are looking for, what do you represent it with? Y. So get y from here. X minus 1 is 2y. X minus 1 divided by 2 is y. Do you agree? So this is your inverse. Because you said f inverse is y. Does it make sense now? So it means f inverse of x will be x minus 1 over 2. Let's check if this makes sense. F inverse of x. Let's try f inverse of 3. Put 3 in here. What is 3 minus 1? 2 divided by 2?
1.
Can you see? Okay. Let's see f inverse of negative 13. Put negative 13 in here. Negative 14 divided by 2? Does it bring it back again? So that's what it means. Okay? So to find f inverse, start from here. Let your f inverse be a variable y. Then interpret this as f and make, explain what this means and from the function, then make y the subject. That's how we find f inverse. I'm sure you have done something like this last year, but in case you have forgotten, please, this is a reminder. And if you don't know whether you did it or not, then this should help you. It's because of time, I won't be able to do one more. It's already 9:39. So I will expect you to please do some practice. Everything is on page. At the next class will just be about practice instead of going into composite function. We will do composite next week. So let next class be about practice on notation and inverse. Okay? And please watch the video over and over. Make sure you follow all these steps. So these are the key steps I would need you to follow. I have to see this step, I want to see this step, and this is how you interpret it. The rest depends on what this equation looks like. And this is change of subjects. So you need to remember change of subject that you've learned in the past. And once you get to this point, this is your F inverse. Remember, your Y is your F inverse. Then you just write this here. Does it make sense? I don't know if I'm confusing someone. So x minus 1 over 2 is F inverse of x. Because from the beginning, this is the same as this from here. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I did. So from here, F inverse is y. So I got y, I changed it to F inverse, and I just copied and pasted it here. Does it make sense? Then I can write finally, F inverse of x is x minus 1 divided by 2. So there's no magic anywhere. So the important steps I need to see, 1, 2, 3, this is depending on the problem, and you have to do the last step. So all these are very important steps. Does it make sense now? Question?
Post the chapters for the test, please.
But I just told you inequality and what sequences? Yeah. Okay, class dismissed. See you.